It's shaping up to be another busy day, packed with high-level meetings and summit diplomacy. But first, we go live to the International Media Center, where our top office correspondent Song Yoo-jin is standing by. Yoo-jin, the final session of the leaders' meeting and the group photo session are over now. What can we expect from here?
Right, Dami. So now we're waiting for South Korean President Lee Jae Myung to hold his press conference as the chair of this year's APEC Leaders Meeting, which will begin very soon at 1 p.m. right here at the International Media Center. With this, the president will wrap up his busy APEC duties. Now, as you mentioned earlier, Dami, the president this morning chaired the second and final session of this year's Leaders Meeting. There, the representatives of the 21 APEC member economies discussed ways to better respond together to share challenges such as the rapid development of artificial intelligence as well as to aging and shrinking populations. So take a listen to his opening remarks.
인공지능 혁신에 친화적인 사회 경제적 환경을 조성하고 민관 협력을 촉진해서 기업들의 창의성을 뒷받침해야 합니다. 인구 구조의 변화는 경제 성장, 노동시장, 교육, 복지 등 사회 전반에 영향을 미치는 심각하고도 큰 위기입니다. 그렇기 때문에 더더욱 부분적이고 개별적인 대응으로는 해결하기가 어렵습니다.
Now, one of the biggest questions going into the leaders' meeting was whether a joint declaration could be adopted, as it requires unanimous approval from all 21 member economies. However, we heard good news from the presidential office this morning that the APEC Leaders Gyeongju Declaration, along with 2 additional documents on artificial intelligence and demographic change, is expected to be formally endorsed at the end of session 2, which we just saw. Now, we haven't heard any updates from the presidential office yet, but I'll bring them in our later newscast.
Of course, Yoo-jin, you're going to have to keep us posted, but we do know President's Day isn't over yet. It's just past the lunchtime. He's set to hold another high-stakes summit this afternoon. Tell us more.
You're definitely right, Dami. So this afternoon, President Lee will hold his very first summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping, who is making a state visit to South Korea for the first time in 11 years. Their meeting will begin with Xi signing the guest book, a photo session, then a welcoming ceremony, followed by talks. So the 2 leaders summit are expected to discuss further developing their strategic cooperative partnership.
Under the shared principle that people's livelihoods come first, the 2 leaders are expected to take up ways to address livelihood issues in both countries. In that same context, they are also expected to discuss peace and the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula.
So after their talks, there will be a state dinner. Attention is now on whether the first Yi-Xi summit could mark a turning point in Seoul-Beijing relations, which have been strained in recent years. Now with that, President Lee will wrap up his week of intensive summit diplomacy here in Gyeongju. But it's not over yet because tomorrow in Seoul, he will be meeting with Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, who is making an official visit to South Korea. So he will continue his series of bilateral talks. Back to you, Dami.
All right, Yoo-jin, thanks for that report. That was our Song Yoo-jin live from the International Media Center.